Well, here we are on day 3, take 3. The way this vlog has been going over the last couple of days is pretty much how the last couple of days have gone. Not as planned. But that's okay. That's all part of the journey. I've decided to take the complications out of this vlog. I need to move on with my schedule, and each one I record doesn't work for some reason. So we're keeping it simple. We're keeping it stupid. Keep it stupid simple. You know what I mean? We're just gonna easy peasy. You're on my cell phone. I'm not messing around with my camera. And I'm just gonna give you basically a recap of what happened over the last 2 weeks. A really quick recap of what we talked about in the last video and what the next 2 weeks are gonna look like. It's gonna be quick and easy and painless. And this time the sound is gonna work, I swear. And I'm gonna check it right now just to make sure it actually is, because I'm paranoid. Okay, I just checked and it works. There's a bit of an echo in here, but we're gonna deal with it. So let's talk about it. What did we talk about in the last video? Well, if you didn't watch it yet, go back and watch it so you can really get a grasp of who I am, what I stand for, and where I'm going. It is an hour-long video, and there's a part of me that thinks that's a little bit ridiculous, but that's a part of me that always tries to drown myself out and not give myself the space to be seen and to speak freely. So part of what I'm doing here with this YouTube channel is allowing myself the space to speak, to talk about my story, who I am, without feeling guilty, without feeling like I need to shut up, without projecting onto other people mean thoughts about myself, without all of this noise. I'm just here to embrace myself and share my journey as I become everything I've ever dreamed of being. So, the last video, I gave you a lot of backstory into who I am, where I've traveled to, the things I've done, the struggles that I've gone through, especially in terms of self-sabotaging and self-doubt. I talked about what's happened over the last 6 months since I launched my website, eco-sam.com, and where I'm going, what I planned to do for these previous 2 weeks. I also explained that every 2 weeks I'm going to be filming an update like this, where I talk about how the last 2 weeks went, what's going on, what's new, how's the project going, and what am I going to do for the next 2 weeks. So I'm using this as accountability. I'm using this as a stage of growth in terms of speaking and giving myself space. And I'm using it to kind of structure my life and try new methods until I find something that really works for myself, and until I am the great success that I know I will be one day. So, now that we know what happened in the last video, now that we know and established that you need to go back and watch it, what happened over the last 2 weeks? Well, in the last video, I basically made a plan for my deadline for June 22nd/24th. It had a lot of things that I needed to get done, and it meant that my schedule was going to be very strict and very tight, but it looked like I would be able to do it. But it did not account for things going wrong. And let me tell you, everything that could have possibly went wrong did. Where I stand now is a completely different place than I was 2 weeks ago. The fulfillment center that I thought was perfect for me found out it is not. I have not had a website because I've been waiting for them for the last 2 months, and now I need to go back to the drawing board again. The picture process that I had to get my photos ready for print was not, I don't know if accurate isn't the right word. It wasn't up to par, and there was things that was missing, and luckily I figured it out and went back and learned, but that took an extra 4 days that I wasn't anticipating. I'm very grateful for it, but like I said, the schedule and the deadline did not account for any strays. My computer mouse broke ×3. So while I was dealing with all of these other things going wrong, one computer mouse broke, another computer mouse broke, my computer trackpad doesn't work, and then I had to wait for my other computer mouse to come in, which took about 5 days because I live in a small village, and it's just not one of those things you can go out and get really close by to where I live. So It's just been 2 weeks of challenge after challenge, and I honestly don't even really want to like get into it. This is supposed to be an update of the things that happened, but it's just been chaotic. And through that, I really believe everything falls apart so that it can fall together. One of the key things that did happen that has been a catalyst for a major change is that I made a post to share my previous YouTube video, and the caption that I wrote, I was kind of rushing, and so I shared it even though I didn't quite feel like it was ready. I pressed share and went on with my day, went to visit my friend, and I said to her, like, hey, can you read this? Because I feel like it doesn't quite encapsulate what I was trying to say. And so she checked it out, and immediately she confirmed what I thought, which is that I did not express myself properly, and I was dancing and trying to figure out the words to use to try to express myself properly, and it just came across all wrong. So I put my tails between my legs, I archived that post, and I just kind of went inward for a little bit. Her and I had a really great conversation. We were talking a lot about the community here, and one of the things that she helped me to understand is that the community sees land as resource. When conservation groups come in here and they try to put red tape around the environment and just say, nobody in, nobody do anything with it, you can't touch it, this is for animals only, people aren't super receptive to that, because they see the land as resources. And that makes a lot of sense to me. And I realized that there's a community piece here that I was really missing. I'm coming from the perspective for the Wildland Project of really wanting to do something good for the environment. But it also means educating people about why we're doing these good things for the environment. And it also means finding ways to bring that, like, gap that bridge of bridge that gap, of the, like, people and environment. How do we come together and work with the land and create more biodiversity and more jobs and more food and resources? Like, there is a way to do that. I can feel it. I don't have the answer yet, but that conversation and the way that she described how that post came across really showed me that I'm coming at this from a bit of a naive place. There's a lot that I need to learn still, and there's a lot that still has to go into the foundations of the Wildland Project. And so the basis of everything, EcoSam, photography, everything that I was saying previously was I'm a nature photographer that puts 50% of my net profits towards buying land simply to keep it wild. That is the goal. But that goal came from a place that is not where I am now. I'm learning new things. I'm becoming more educated. And I'm learning there's many things I don't know yet. I decided I needed to go sit and spend some time in the forest. And so that's exactly what I did. Bare feet on the ground, sitting on the forest floor, looking up at the trees, and just asking it from the voice within to help guide me. I had my journal, I had a pen, and I had no expectations. And slowly, the pen started to hit the paper. And for somebody who's not a poetic person, poetry has never been something that's come out of me. A little poem came out of me, and actually I was like pretty impressed by it. It was really interesting. The last 2 lines immediately gave me the answer I needed. And I want to share it with you so then I can tell you about what decision I've made. So basically, to set the scene, I was sitting on the forest floor, bare feet on the ground, looking up at the trees, feeling really uncertain about the Wildland Project and everything that I've been talking about up until this point. I was wondering if I'm doing the right thing, what I'm missing. Can I do this? Is it a total flop? Do I need to change completely? Do I just need to have conversations? What do I do about my messaging? Everything just felt up in the air. And so I asked the forest for guidance. And this is what came out of me. Here I sit on the forest floor, waiting intently for it to tell me more. I feel uncertain of my place. I'm really not sure how to take up space. Then people might see my real face. Who is it for? The things I'm trying to accomplish. I'm starting to wonder if it's an ego contest. The idea in the beginning just made sense, but now that I'm deep in it, I'm on the fence. Is it a pivot or addition that is the call to make? What will the people say is the question that makes me shake. So many perspectives in this world to view through. Does my opinion count too? How does one form an opinion of their own if without others' thoughts they can't choose just one? What feels right to me is the only question I need. Pondering upon that will help me plant the right seed. And as soon as I wrote that, I was like, okay, that is the answer there. I'm always looking to other people for the answer, but I am the founder, the CEO, and the creator. I am EcoSam, and these are my prints of purpose. And when I put my name to something, I want it to be something that offers value to the world, that actually helps people, and is created with solutions, the environment, and people alike in mind. So the decision that I made is that I'm changing my messaging moving forward. The Wildland Project is something that I'm still working towards, and I will still be putting contributions from my art sales towards that. But while the fund builds, which will take a little bit of time because we need art sales to build the fund, and then we need art products to get art sales, which we don't have right now. So, you see where I'm going with? So once the website is up, my products are officially back online. The EcoSam foundations are built. And EcoSam is a photographer that loves reconnecting people to nature through art. The same way that I've found my reconnection to nature through art, and the same way that I have broken down the barriers that these cities that I grew up in built up around me, I'm now free and becoming more and more free to reconnect to nature in a deeper capacity than I ever felt possible. And I know, because I've already seen it happening, that my art can help break down that wall for other people too. So those foundations are set. EcoSam is already there, and that's the messaging and direction that I'm going to focus on. While I'm doing that, and while my sales are starting to build, I'm selling products, and the Wildland Project Fund is growing, then I can take the time and behind the scenes start doing research, start holding community gatherings where we generate conversation and talk about what would actually benefit the community. Is there a way where we can protect the land and still support people? I don't know what the answers are here, and I'm not going to pretend to say that I do, but I am willing to find them out. And so there is a lot of community exploration that's going to be involved, a lot of talking with other conservation groups. Do I do something on my own, or is there a partnership involved? There are a lot of questions, and at the end of the day, education is the number one factor that I think is going to be really important. I just sneezed, sorry. So I'm really excited about this change. It takes the pressure off of me. It allows me to build the Wildland project into whatever it needs to be the right way, without promising something now and then not being able to deliver. And it also allows me the ability to help people in a way. The Wildland Project is something that helps nature and would help people in a different way, but this allows me to directly help my fellow brethren. I don't know what that word is. What is that word? Fellow brethren? Bloodrin. Why does it sound so weird? Have I ever known that word? Anyways, I really want to help people break down these walls, because the closer I get to nature, the more grounded I become, the calmer I become, and the more sure of where I'm going in this world. And I think that there's a lot of people that could really benefit from that too. Plus, who doesn't love having nice art on your walls? I mean, come on, let's get real. So that's the biggest change that has come out of these last 2 weeks. Other than the fact that I'm needing a whole new product fulfillment company, I have a lot of stuff to change now in terms of my website, my messaging. a lot of these things that I thought I was going to do in the last 2 weeks are going to be happening in the next 2 weeks, but that's okay. That's all part of it. What have I learned over these last 2 weeks? I have 3 lessons that I wrote down here that I wanted to share that I feel like is important to what has happened. Number 1, I am the creator of what I'm creating. The decision is up to me, and looking for outside validation only brings confusion to my vision. So if I need to make a decision and I'm always going and asking other people, what do you think? What do you think? Sometimes it brings valuable insights, and a lot of times it actually brings more confusion because their idea may differ than mine. And then I start to wonder if my idea makes sense or not, but that doesn't account for our difference in perspectives and experiences and desires and goals. So I've learned that I'm the creator, and what helps is going within. Maybe that's within the forest, but also within myself, and asking where I want to go. Number 2, I am right on time, even though my nervous system tries to convince me differently. Everything takes longer than I realize, but the tortoise wins every time. My nervous system really wants me to move fast. I am constantly fighting this feeling of, you don't have enough time, this is taking too long, you're already running out of time, you can't do it. And my nervous system is just like this all the time, and I'm trying to do tasks fast, and then I'm missing things, I'm making mistakes, and it's causing me to have to go back and creating more issues for me later. So what I'm really practicing right now is moving slow, taking deep breaths, and allowing myself whatever time I need. My favorite mantra is, I am right on time. Everything is working out for me exactly as it's meant to. And number 3, it's okay to pivot. It's okay to admit you didn't get it right. It's easier to get it over with sooner than it is to deal with the troubles later. There was a part of me when I realized that the print files weren't quite right. They were just like there was like a little task I missed that would make them even better. There was a part of me that was like, yeah, but that's hours of going back. Like, what if it's gonna be fine and everything's okay? And I had to sit and like write myself a little note on this piece of paper. I don't know where it is. We're not gonna try to find it right now, even though I'm still looking for it. But I had to write myself on this little piece of paper. It's the weight of admitting I did the process wrong that stops me from making it right. If I don't do anything, I don't need to admit it now. But if I don't do anything, I will deal with the consequences later. It's really simple, but I just had to write that to myself and remind myself, like, hey, it's better you get it right now. It'll help you immensely in the future, and then you're not kicking yourself in the future just because you didn't want to admit you're wrong. Like, what kind of ego is that? So that was a really good lesson for me. I'm obviously going to save myself the trouble in the future, but the fact that there was a part of me even thinking that way, I had to give myself a little kick in the head and just say, hello, you really want to deal with this later and admit you didn't deal with it even though you saw it? Yeah, right. Like, no. So those are the 3 of the key lessons that I learned over the last 2 weeks, and something I will definitely keep with me moving forward. Now, what do the next 2 weeks look like? Well, my theme for the next 2 weeks is balance and planning. And what does that mean? Number 1, I am going to schedule my life out using my calendar, and that is my Bible. I will schedule it out for the next 2 weeks based on my goals and the networking meetings or things that I have. I have already time blocked my days. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or half day Friday will look like this. I'm trying a new routine. I've noticed that I get this really great work session that kicks in around 10 p.m. But I've been trying to force myself to be a 6 a.m. girly who goes to bed early and wakes up early, and it just hasn't really been working for me. And I get this great work focus at 10 p.m. and it usually goes until like 12:30, 1 a.m. So I've decided for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to work with that as my schedule. So 1 a.m. sleep time, 9 a.m.-ish, 8:30, 9 a.m. wake up time. And I give myself 3 working blocks that are about 3 hours long. So it's still approximately 9 hours of work every single day, give or take an hour, depending on how the day goes. And it gives me the time to clean the house in the mornings, walk my dog, do my journal and meditation, and it gives me the times to do all of my self-care stuff, including going to the gym in the afternoon. And I've also got a raw dog hour in here, which is literally just an hour where I raw dog life. I sit on my yoga mat and I stare at the sky. Maybe I do a little bit of stretching, but for the most part, I am trying to completely de-dopamine my life. No cell phone, no scrolling, no noise. If it's a really busy day, I'm willing to break this up into like 2 30-minute blocks or 1 30-minute block if it's a really insane day and I really can't afford to do the hour. But at minimum, 30 minutes a day of complete chill. Silence, relaxation, nothing dopamine, no cell phone around. That's my goal, and that is for my mental health. So this is how I've scheduled out my days, and I'm going to be scheduling out the 2 weeks as well, and that will be my Bible. That's what I'll be following, and I'll be assessing, how does this work for me? Do I feel more tired every day, or is the schedule really amazing? Do I love it? Do I hate it? What's the deal? The question is, can I find a routine that allows me the freedom to enjoy life while also capitalizing on my most productive work times and making sure that I have enough time to get all my work done? I really want a work-life balance. I am not here to hustle and grind my life away. I want to be able to step away from my computer without feeling guilty. And so hopefully this is a way of doing this. Couple of rules around my daily time structure. I have 3 of them. Number 1, only 2 work blocks missed a week. So there are 3 work blocks a day that are between 2.5 to 3 hours. That means, and we don't count the final one on Friday. I'll give myself the late shift off on Friday. So 2 work blocks on Fridays, 3 work blocks on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that equals a total of 3, 6, 9, 12, plus 2 is 14. So 14 work blocks. So 2 of those work blocks a week can be missed if something comes up, like maybe I have to do, some personal errands, or maybe there's a birthday party or like a big potluck lunch. If something comes up, I'm allowed to say, okay, here's a 3-hour period that I can go do this thing, but maximum of 2. I'm going to set the next day's goals the night before. So I know exactly what I'm waking up and doing the night before. And then as a new way for this vlog, the next time I'm going to try something new. Every morning I'm going to record my goal for the day, and every evening I'll record if I made that goal. I just want to see what happens. I don't know what it's going to be like, if it'll look cool, if it'll be annoying, if it'll be weird, but I think it'll be a great accountability piece for me. And yeah, I'm just very curious to see how it goes. Hopefully it's not too much, but you know what? It is what it is. And yeah, that's kind of it for these next 2 weeks. In terms of work and what I want my outcome to be, my ideal would be, I'm not going to put a ton of pressure on myself for what the outcome is, because my website is my real goal. But now that my fulfillment is needing to change, I need to go back to the drawing board, revisit old conversations with fulfillment centers, do some research for new ones, find the right match. I have, that, and I don't know how long that will take, and that affects everything else that I do. So I would love to have my website completed by the next 2 weeks. And if it's not for some reason because of this whole fulfillment thing, as long as I can get my fulfillment sorted and start moving on that, then I think I'm good. But really, the theme is balance and planning. So let's not get too distracted. I like to overcomplicate things and add a lot of things in. But balance and planning. I have my daily time structure, only 2 work blocks missed a week. I set my goals for the next day, the night before, and I record myself AM and PM. What was my goal? Did I make it? Cool? Cool. That's amazing. Awesome. this went really well. I hope this video works. But you know what? There are challenging times that come up in life in general. I'm learning in entrepreneurship. Everything that we do has challenges, and it really is up to us to determine how we want to face them and deal with them. And I particularly prefer facing my challenges head on. Sometimes when a lot of them are thrown at me all at once, it can get very overwhelming and I just want to hide in my room and close my eyes and not anymore. But, you know, a couple hours of that and then we move on with our days and suddenly the answer comes. And I truly believe that everything is falling apart so it can be reconstructed and come back together to be even better. I don't believe any of this is a bad thing. I do think it's like stressful and I wasn't expecting it, and it's not how I thought things were going to go, which is always annoying. But I know that things are going to be even better than I could have ever expected when I get to the other side of this and figure out everything that I need to figure out. I know I'm capable. I know I'm able, I know I will, and I know I can, and I'm so grateful you're here with me to watch the process unfold. I'm so grateful to be sharing this with you. I can already see the immense improvement from the last video to this one. I think I lost a little bit of my cute personality nerves, but that's okay. We're getting more professional, we're getting better, we're getting clearer, we're getting more concise. I think this video wasn't too long either, which is great. Everything is good. Everything is great. Everything is amazing. Life is beautiful, and I hope you feel the same way about yours. And if you don't, take a deep breath in, feel the sun on your face, and remember that you are alive. And the fact that you're alive today with us is a wonderful thing. So grateful you are here. Thank you for listening to me. Thanks for being along this journey. If you like the things that I'm doing and want to push the thumbs up or the subscribe or I don't know, this is weird for me. I'm not used to doing this, but any way that you can support social media, likes and things are always very helpful, and so is sharing. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. EcoSam out.